Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Just Life with Cicily Porter. Today, I have a guest on, Randi Lynn Quigley. So, Randi, you are unique because you reached out to me. And after cyber stalking you for literally 20 minutes, I knew you would be a fantastic guest to bring on. Your story is incredible. So, I just want to get straight to introducing you. So, you are a luxury realtor, founder of your own business, a host for the American Dream on HGTV, an author, a mom, and so much more. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and yeah, I'll let you take over.
Gosh, you're so sweet. That was such a good introduction since cyber stalking isn't that what we do right now?
Yes.
Everything can be found online so easy. Yeah, so everything you said, I'm also a coach, a real estate and business coach with Grant Cardone. But yeah, so that's everything you said is who I am. I don't know what else to say. I don't
We're
like talking
good.
about myself. I love like inspiring and reaching out to other people and telling other people what they can do. But then you talk about myself, I'm like, okay, what are you gonna know? You
It's
know?
literally so hard. Like people act like it's no big deal, but talking about yourself is like one of the hardest things.
Yeah, I think it's just, I mean, it's just who I am. I'm like, when I look at myself, I'm like, yeah, I did good, but I can do better. Like we could do more. We could do a lot more. So I'm just normal. But, I actually really, when we're talking about too, like, I love, like, really, really, really love, like, helping others and inspiring other people, like, in every business and everything we do.
That's amazing. And that's exactly why I wanted to bring you on, because this is what this podcast is all about, is helping out one another. And you have like the dream job for so many people. So I bet a lot of people want to hear, how do you get there? And we'll get right into that. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's talk about life. What have you been up to? I'll go ahead and start first and then I'll throw it
Okay,
to you.
perfect. Yep.
So January, new year. So starting off strong. I've been busy with work per usual, had some pretty interesting stories, and I did have a low light moment. My grandfather passed away. I was really
Oh, I'm
close with,
sorry.
and that's why I had to
Oh,
reschedule. We're both so busy. We had to reschedule like 3 times with illness. Everyone is sick right now. At work, I was the only reporter the other day because everyone is sick. But so I had that, but it was a beautiful service. He was 80 years old, lived a great life, and
uh,
yeah, it was beautiful. What else have I been doing? Just honestly staying busy, working, trying to get back on track from the holidays still. But actually, we are now in February. Holy moly.
yeah, you
But
said January. I was like, yeah, it's just the start of the year. Wait, no.
yeah, it is February. So yeah, we'll see what February has in store. And I'm so excited for 2025. So
Yeah, that's
Randy, what
awesome.
has life been up to for you?
Yeah, same. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to hear about your grandpa. I knew you had a funeral. I didn't know it was that. I think we scheduled another time too because that's the hospital because my grandma's in the hospital. So same thing, but she's 89. She'll be 90. But yeah. So she's had a good life too. But yeah, so that. And as you could tell, like I feel totally fine, but I too was sick. Our whole family was sick, and that's where my voice is not back. My doctor told me, do not talk for 3 to 5 weeks. And I was like, okay, that's not going to work just because I have laryngitis now. And he's like, in order to get your voice back, you need to stop talking. And that just doesn't work. So that I also booked, like I am headed to Miami next week to meet with Grant Cardone and really start my motivational speaking, training, coaching, all of this. So it's a super exciting chapter. I'm super excited for all of that. That's what's new, I guess. I'm in Illinois, so it's very cold and gross. I mean, I guess it's not that bad. There was a lot of ice yesterday. So yeah, so let me, I've got 4 kids. 4 kids, horses. We have horses. My husband is a farmer. What else can I tell you guys? That's super interesting. I don't know. That's about it.
No, that's amazing. And I mean, you just telling me more and more. My first question is like, how do you sleep? Like, how do you find time to do everything?
What's so funny is that so I'm older than you. I'm going to be 42 this year, and when I say that is because when I was younger, I used to stay up really, really late and then get up like at 8, 9, maybe 7. But now it's so funny. It's like 8, 9 p.m. hits, and I'm like so tired because I get up at like 4 a.m. So it's like my hours, like when you were, I don't know if you ever thought of that when I was always like, oh my God, my parents are going to sleep so early. And now my daughter, I've got four kids, like I said, but my 13-year-old daughter's like, Mom, like you're not that old. Like, don't go to bed yet. And it's like 7:38. I'm like, love you. Bye. I'm going to bed. So I do sleep. I sleep at like I like fall asleep at like 8, 9, maybe 10, but I get up at like 4 a.m. It's like 4 a.m. is like my alarm just in my head goes off.
No, that's amazing. And you're a mom and you do work and you do all of this. I want to know how you got to where you are today. So, where are you from? Are you originally from Illinois?
I'm from Illinois. Yep, born and raised. I probably will never move. Probably will have a second or third house somewhere else, but I probably will never like leave, you know?
Yeah. No, and you went to college at CCSJ.
No, I went to college at St. Xavier University.
Oh, St. Xavier. Sorry. I went to IU Northwest, so they are both more
Oh, okay.
rivals, so I get them confused.
Oh, okay.
So St.
Crazy.
Xavier. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep. So I
did
went
you
there.
did you always growing up know you wanted to go into real estate?
No, actually. So I have a degree, I have a master's in accounting. So I started off in school and I started in accounting because I thought backstory, my parents were divorced and I always thought like I wanted to go into something that's secure because I saw my parents both struggling a little bit. So I got my accounting degree thinking, sorry, my throat,
You were
nice
good.
podcast.
That's life.
Oh man. So I got my accounting degree and then literally the first year I went to accounting, I worked at a place called SOS Children's Villages. So I worked with kids and I loved talking to the kids. So this is what my doctor says, don't talk, it's gonna get worse. But so I went to accounting and like I was always in trouble for talking to the foster parents and the kids. So literally one day I came home and I was like, I just can't do this. I can't do this. Like I quit. And she's like, why? I'm like, accounting's not for me. Because I went to accounting. I love the accounting part, but I also realized me personally, my personality, I literally could not sit. I drove the city every single day. I could not sit in the computer and just like talk to no one, you know? So I was a stay-at-home mom for a while. And yeah, I got into real estate actually. My ex-husband was a realtor, and we had not a wonderful marriage. I won't go into details there. But being said, I saw his flexibility in his hours. And I was like, okay, if we're gonna get divorced, I need a job like that. I've got kids, I need to be with my kids. So I got into real estate, left the marriage, and then literally just built my own brand. It's going on 8 years now. And obviously now if you looked at my socials, like I'm remarried, I've got another baby. But it's just kind of one of the things like I'm like, I have to dive into it, I have to do it, I have to create my brand, and it's starting right now, you know?
Yeah, no, there's so much to unpack there. So going to
Yeah.
college and going for accounting, I feel like a lot of people go to college and want to find like a secure degree, like a lawyer, doctor, accounting, something that their parents would be proud of. But honestly, like maybe it's not for you, but you feel that pressure to like go in.
Yeah. Yep, that's exactly it. Like I thought, okay, I'm gonna have a solid 9 to 5 job. I'm going to make good money, what I thought was good, and I'm going to have my weekends off and nights off. That's like my dream, right? And now it's crazy because I have like 6 businesses and I work all the time. I Zoom all the time, but I like it because I could be with my kids, my family. Even though I'm present, I'm also like, I just like it. And I teach it now too. I teach this like mindset over manner and all of that, you know?
Yeah. And do you think accounting maybe like kind of pushed you or set you up for you where you are at today?
You know what? I always feel like things happen for a reason. So I would never say anything is bad. I feel like I learn from it. Um, like the school, I like learning. So like I have books all over my office. Like I'm always reading, I'm always doing everything to learn. So I think that it helped me like get that, like instill that like education mindset. But like it also taught me of like what I don't like. You know what I mean?
For sure. No, sometimes you have to do things you don't like to find out what you do.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I honestly like, I'm never like, I always talk to people and they're like, oh, well, this happened to me, or you talked about your old marriage, like, are you a victim? And I'm like, I like, no matter what, like, if I went to my whole life in details, like, there has been a lot of stuff that happens in my life that I could have easily took and been like, oh, poor me, or this is going to do this, or I'm not worthy to do this, or whatnot, you know? But instead, I took all those things, even school, everything, and took it as like learning opportunities to grow. You know what I mean?
I love how you share that and like tell people? Because I think, especially people on social media, they look at just people's highlights and think, oh, they just have the most perfect life. But like, there are challenges behind the scenes that people don't see.
Right. Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of challenges. But I think that's why I went into the coaching and Grant Cardone specifically, why I started coaching with him, why that stood out and stands out so much to me because that is all mindset. Like mainly what we train on is mindset. Taking that like inner child that you used to have, those big goals and dreams that you used to have, and that somehow like the world or everything started picking at you, right? Taking those things and finding them and finding your purpose and then dreaming those big dreams, those 10x big dreams and goals, and then actually going and realizing, like, I can do this. We're going to do this and doing them, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, you are a perfect example of that, following your dream. And you said this is 8 years you've been doing this?
I've been actually a realtor for 12 years. So
12.
I got divorced 8 years ago,
Okay.
like full
So
time. So I was a realtor before, but I went full time into my own brand 8 years ago.
gotcha. And your brand is really unique because you bring social media into the mix. You have over 60,000 followers. And just talk about that because I think that's so unique and it's such the new world. You have to do that.
So this is what I talk about is that in real estate now we are lifestyle brokers, right? So we are brokers who like it's not just like we just sell homes. Like we sell lifestyles. People need social media. You need to be on social media. And that's actually what my book is about. It's for realtors, but it's also for everyone. But it's how to brand yourself. So it's how to actually create whatever your personality is almost like social media is your business card. When people call me, they know I sell homes but they also feel like they personally know me because then when I come into homes, they don't have to like I don't have to introduce myself really or like interview because they already know who they're calling. They already see my face, they already hear my voice, they already feel like they know me, right? So
Yeah.
it's just like this way of like it's so powerful right now. And then of course it opens up other doors. Like it's not like I'm just a realtor. No, I'm a realtor. I'm a mom. I'm a coach. I'm everything. I own my own office. Like there's so many things that you can do and like I really want people to realize that like you don't have to make yourself small to fit anyone's box. You know?
Yeah. I
Like
wish
you can be whatever you want. Yeah.
I wish I would have read your book. I'm gonna read it after this, so send me a link and I'll put it in
I
this
will. Yeah.
episode description.
Okay.
But okay, so for the people who are just starting out, let's say they just started Instagram and don't know where to start, what would you tell them?
So, for people who don't know where to start, I would say the biggest thing. So, if it's just now in general, and not in terms to real estate, but in just branding, I would say start actually really putting, like, thinking, actually going backwards and taking this paper and like writing down what you want to. So, I don't want to say what you want to look like, but what did you vision your life to look like in like 5 years? When you're talking about business for branding for Instagram, it's a little bit different than your personal branding, right? So vision for 5 years, like these people I want to be surrounded with. What's my purpose? Like who do I want to attract, right? So what you do is put down a paper, this is what I want to do. And you start every single day, like posting and collaborating and being around those people, right? Because so for social media, posting things like your daily activity and stories, like people want to know you, like what you do on the daily basis. So if you're just like out there and you're taking a tour of a local restaurant, post on your story. If you are there with your family and it's a special holiday or picture of you, or if you're reading a book, take a picture of yourself. Like I actually, when I first started, I used to think like everything needed to be professional video or photo. Now, most of my social media is literally selfies and pictures of my family. And because people want to feel like they know you. So I would just say, don't overthink it. Just start sharing your life with the world and the things that are important to you. And you will start organically getting people who are connecting with you. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
100%. Yeah, I used to have the same problem. I wouldn't post a picture unless it was perfect. But what is perfect, you know? Like
Right.
it's just you nitpick when you look at a picture and you overthink everything and then you don't post anything. And
Right.
the videos that I have posted that have gone like semi-viral or a million views are the ones I did not think would go viral. But
Yep.
the ones I put all this work into get like 100 views. I'm like, what? So no,
Yep.
so much true. I think it's part of like authenticity. People want to see realness. People want to see real people.
Yep. Yep. They definitely want to see people who you are. Like a lot of times too, like we just feel like we have to be this certain person or this certain vibe or a certain look. Like, I think that's what's helped me out through my whole career is that when I first started out in real estate, I remember being the younger one of my group, from like the group I was with. And I was always like, new home emoji before emojis were in, like there's a house emoji, smiley face. I'm listing a house today, smiley face. And people were like, holy crap, like this realtor is like, and one lady said to me, like, one realtor was like, honey, emojis don't sell homes. And I was like, instead of using that word and her being like getting in within me and being like, yeah, no, like I'm not going to do it anymore. I was like, oh, you don't think they do? Well, I'll show you they do. You know what I mean? So like I kind of take everything everyone says to me and I have like something over time that built within me. Like you tell me I can't, I can. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So like just having fun with it. And I think that's what's so powerful about 2025 is that we are in a world where people can actually like you can be and do whatever you want and no matter what business you're in, for the most part, you can be yourself. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, like, if you want to be an influencer in social media, just start posting things that you're actually passionate about. Because when you're passionate about something, it's going to show, and you're going to find someone else that's going to resonate with you. You're going to find following and people that like want to follow you because you're being authentic. You know?
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's go back to your beginning as a realtor. So you said
Okay.
that you were the youngest in your group. I'm sure that was hard in itself, but
Yeah.
I'm sure you didn't start off selling million-dollar homes. So tell us
No.
how
Well,
you,
it's so
yeah,
funny. I started off doing rentals. So people would be like, I don't want to do these rentals because like there's so many rentals out there. And I was like, well, I'll take anything I can get because for me, rentals, if it was like $2,000 a month, realtors get half of that. And you can turn over a rental in like a day. You go find a rental, you get paid the next day. So I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. No one wants to work these rentals. So what I did when I first started was back to basics. I took rentals. I took any rental I could find and I wound up taking them and nurturing them and then putting them into a database. And then like a year later from their rental time, calling them and being like, hey, your lease is up. Are you thinking about buying? And then most of the time I transferred them into buyer leads, which then kept in contact with them and literally added them to my social media, started just texting them, treated them like family and a friends. And then next thing you know, they were referring people out. Then they were selling. So it grew organically, but I put in the work. I think my lowest year I've ever sold, even as a new agent, was $12 million as like my first year. So because I was like, okay, I'm going to do this, like no ifs, no buts. Then when I left my marriage, my first marriage, I left with no child support, no alimony. I was just like, I don't want anything. I just want to start over. And that was really hard. So I was like, oh crap, I've got three kids with no child support. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. That time I had three, nine, four. And it was like, okay, I'm just going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to commit. And that's what I teach people on now. No matter what you do, you need to commit. I can train and coach people all day on stuff, what to do. But if you don't do the work and commit to it, nothing's going to change. I can't change you. I can give you the tools to change and to grow, but I can't change you. You know what I mean? You're going to have to do the work.
definitely. You have to want to change.
You have to want to change and you have to every single day commit and just do it.
So your story with taking up the rentals, it reminded me of Jim Rose's story. Do you know Jim Rose? He used to be a sports anchor for Chicago.
His name sounds familiar, but no.
He's all space, you know who he is. He's
Okay.
one of
Yeah.
the biggest sports people of all time. But
Okay.
he got the back burner of what no one wanted to do, which was the NBA at the time. And this is
Okay.
when Michael Jordan came to Chicago. So, I mean, everyone knows the story and how that just transformed the NBA. But he took that because no one wanted it, and it turned into
Right.
this huge, successful, honestly, changed the game forever. So
Okay.
it's awesome how like,
Yeah.
you take, the bottom of the barrel and make this amazing thing, amazing legacy with it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just because a lot of people too just feel like in our world, our society, people just do the bare basic, the bare minimum to get by. And they're afraid sometimes to be different. But my thing is, like, you don't have to be different, just be yourself. You don't have to be like loud like me. You don't have to be whatever. Whatever you are, you really need to be that person. You need to like engage with those people. You need to like I don't know, and if you're starting out in any business, just take what you can get. I mean, you got to put in the work. And people sometimes too, as realtors, they start out, they're like, can you give me a lead? Like, how do you get a lead? I'm like, you work for it. You market. I'm not going to give you leads. I'll show you how to get leads. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
a lot of times too, even people I'm coaching right now, I'm like, this is what you do. You call people, you send them email, you follow up, and they're like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I'm like, okay, well, I'm showing you, you want to know what I did. I'm showing you, but you don't want to put in, we want the results of making seven figures, but you don't want to do the work,
exactly. Yeah.
you
And
know?
and it sounds like like all the real estate world, it's all about networking and making those connections with people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all business. That's why I say like you're a lifestyle broker. I'm a lifestyle realtor. Like for even like training and coaching, they say I'm like an empowerment leader or I'm literally going to be talking and speaking about mindset, encouraging and to finding that inner self and all of that. But like it's all about just connection. And that's why I say lifestyle realtor. It's not just people, anyone can put a house on the market and list it. Anyone can open a door and show a house. But you need to be educated, but you also need to make people feel comfortable with you. So it's all people, it's all networking. Networking is marketing, but it's also just like being real and authentic and like having fun what you do, but making people feel comfortable.
I
This
love
is
that.
all our world is, you know?
I
And
love it.
people overthink everything, you know?
For sure. Yeah, I love it. And I mean, a lot of people don't always help people or don't have that sense of wanting to help people like you do. So, what makes you want to do that? And what made you want to write a book?
So this is actually my second. My first book was kind of just real estate, like for sellers, like a here's a guide to. But I think book was kind of like branding, obviously, to brand for realtors. Obviously, I'm trying to recruit to my team too. But it's more so just the fact that like I coach people and I train people because I don't feel like really everyone gets in the fact of like they don't want to help people because then it becomes competition for them. And I truly believe there's so much business and opportunity all around that you are not in competition. And just because we may know the same people does not mean that we're in competition with each other or fear. You know what I mean?
There's enough for everyone
So
out there.
there's enough. There is. And I think some people get caught up in the fact that like I want to teach, I want to help people, but only to an extent to where they're not doing better than me. But it's like that's a horrible mindset to be in because really we should be surrounding ourselves around people who are better, who are doing better. And if they're doing better, that means that you're helping them and that means you'll grow too. Like we should all grow together.
Yeah, and I mean that takes a lot for you to say because I'm sure it's competitive selling
He's very
homes.
competitive. Yeah.
So you're like, let's bring them to the top though, because there's enough for everyone.
Right. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. There's totally enough for everyone and grow something together, massive together, you know?
Yeah, awesome. So now I
Yeah.
want to transition into HGTV. How did
Okay.
that all come about?
So it's a show called American Dream. It's through HGTV. And so pretty much what it is, I took a little pause on it right now because I'm starting my coaching and because once I'm actually going with fully certified in like the coaching and speaking, which I'm certified in coaching, just not the speaking part yet, then I'll restart it. But pretty much what it is creating local videos and tours and interviewing. Hold on. It's like again, lifestyles. So for instance, I go around my local communities and I like to highlight different big events, different big like local homes or builders or anything that's like tourist attractions or things that people don't know of. Because a lot of times people are buying homes, they're coming from the city in Chicago, or they're coming out of state, they're coming to our area or any area, and they may fall in love with location, but they don't really know what else is in that location. So when I say you're buying a house, you're buying a house, but you're really buying the area, the city, the tour, all of that. So what our show does is talks incorporates all of this into it. So we go and highlight different businesses, we highlight different communities. I had one where I just did Starved Rock, and then I also did one of my listings that was my right by there. It also sometimes can be picked up by Travel Channel. So it's just another good way of literally incorporating. Honestly, a lot of our stuff goes on YouTube too. Like YouTube, my kids watch like YouTube. I don't know if you like watch
Oh
YouTube, but
yeah.
YouTube TV, YouTube. That's like another thing that like we all are going that everything goes on, but like it's all so relevant. So how that happened was me literally just reaching out to another agent. This is all I do. This is all I do with everything I've been doing is just reaching out to people who are bigger and better than me and be like, how did you that help me? I
Yeah.
saw another agent doing it and I said, I want in. That's all. That's how simple. Here's the interview process. Here it is. Join here, log in, went through a few interviews. Here I was.
So
Like, we all need to find that inner confidence and not be afraid. Like, we are all people. We all start somewhere, right?
yeah. And it's like having that mentorship. You're looking to learn more from someone
Yeah,
else.
absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. And
And here's
then
the thing too, if you don't ask or you don't do like you don't know, then you're gonna stay complacent. Like nothing's gonna happen. You're gonna stay exactly where you are. Like you
exactly.
need to ask. You need to insert yourself in, you know?
The worst thing they can say is no.
Oh gosh, I get no all the time. I get sworn at. I get lots of that, you know?
How do you deal with that? I mean, that has to be hard.
Um, I don't know. Again, I talked a little bit about from my past growing up and my last relationship. Now I'm in this, I always say I create this little bubble around me. So when someone says so clearly, I don't know if you see like my social media, I'm an ambassador for one of my really good friends, the local spa around here.
Hmm.
So she has like three different spas. She's amazing, but I get filler and Botox. I'm kind of like, I'll do whatever you want, do whatever you want to me, do it, and I'll share it around. We'll promote it. And so I'm an ambassador with them. Hold on. So a lot of times people say to me, you know, oh my God, you're so materialistic. You care about, well, if they knew me, I'm not, you know, but like you do this, you do that. And I'm always like, yeah, okay. Anyways, like you're so like you want, it's like this all the time. Like all you want is attention. I'm like, I do. So do I buy a house? You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like I agree with everything everyone says because that's fine. That's your opinion if you think it's fine, but then it bounces right off. So I explained it as it's like I have this big bubble around me, right? So no matter what people say and what people do, no matter what, it'll be like, okay, I acknowledge that you think that. I don't think that. I'm not internalizing it. I'm not letting it get to me, but it bounces right off. And the thing is that once you do that to people, once you learn how to do that, it's almost kind of fun. When people are out there like, screw you, you know, whatever, you're like, okay, thanks, bye. You know, it's just like, I don't know. It's just like, it makes you feel like, oh my God, it makes you really realize like, it's not about me. Like, I didn't do anything. If I know who I am and if I'm happy, if my happiness or my success or whatever makes you upset, then I know it's not me. Like, I know I have enough confidence to know, not arrogance, but confidence to know that like what I'm doing isn't going to affect me and that it has to be with someone else. And it took me some time to learn that, but that's where it all comes into getting your confidence. And like, that's again, what else I coach on, like, get to know your self worth, you know?
Absolutely. You know, I've dealt with that a lot with just being on TV all the time. You know,
Yeah, I'm sure.
people are absolutely crazy and will say anything to try to get
They're
to you.
horrible, right? Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
deal with that a lot?
Yeah.
Oh no.
And I mean, it was shocking at first because I was always expecting some hate comments because, you know, there's always hateful people out there.
Right.
But I have noticed like the worse the news is, the more haters come out. So
Yeah.
I'm sure, I mean, you've probably seen it too, especially with like your following. There's always going to be haters in the world. But I like
Yep.
how you said the bubble, like you can't let it get to you. And
Yep.
it with time, it does get easier. Like now I literally laugh at some of the comments because they're just so outrageous. I'm like, where did this even come from? But
Yep. Yep.
I've learned that it's usually people throwing their insecurities onto you because they have something they need help with.
Right. 100%. And it's people who like, they want to, people who are insecure are always going to be trying to bring other people down because then it makes themselves feel good. But that's fine. I don't engage. I've actually cut out a lot of people out of my life because they're like that. Like I don't engage with any of that. You know, I'm just kind of like, fine, you had a one shot with me. You proved that you are not who you are, and see ya. Like
Bye.
I have no tolerance. Yeah, and I don't care if my inner circle is tiny. That's fine. You know, if you don't believe what I'm doing, fine. That's fine. You can do it on your own. Like I'm not, I don't need anybody. I don't, you know, but it took me a long time to get that. But it's very nice to have that little bubble around you, you know, and that comes with finding who you are and knowing your worth, you know?
Yeah. And I knew you'd be a great guest. We've been talking for like over 30 minutes and it feels like it's been five. So
I know. Oh my gosh, it has been crazy.
So I want to get to one major question I really wanted to ask because I have my best friend, she's going into real estate, and I know other
Okay.
people who are just starting out. So what would you say to them, the realtors that are just starting out, what they should be doing right now?
So just realtors who are actually just like literally brand new into the market. So here's the thing about real estate, and I do coach realtors too, but it's a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Like I have some students right now who said to me, it's a lot. Like you're giving a lot of information. Um, there's so much in school. you learn everything you need to learn. Like you need to learn it for the test. But when you actually get into real estate, 80% of people who go into real estate within the first 2 years are out within 2 years. 80%. It's a huge number because no one teaches you how to market. So I would say when you first get into real estate, write your goals and your numbers down and do whatever you need to do in order to obtain those goals. Like real estate is not easy. You need to start branding yourself. Social media is the number one, the easiest way to start branding yourself because it's organic. I don't think starting into real estate and putting all this money into everything else is really the best way to go because as a realtor, like you're going to have fees all over, right? But I feel like reaching out to your sphere of influence, literally telling every single person that you know you're a realtor. Literally, I say it now, it's so easy. I'll be like, just talking to someone, because I'm a realtor. Like, if I'm like, oh, if I'm like cash register or something, and I'll be like, yeah, because I'm a realtor, like this happens. It just comes out. Always have your cards on you. Just let everyone know you're a realtor. That is literally the simplest thing. Learn to get comfortable with talking to people because that's what our business is. If you can't make cold calls, if you can't reach out to new people, you probably won't last long in this business, to be honest. You might, or you might just get little, but you're never going to get to where those super high numbers are because we are in a business, a people business, a marketing business. We're not just realtors. We're literally our own brand, you know?
Absolutely. And I think that can go for so many jobs. I mean, just put yourself
Yeah.
out there. Be
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. Be you.
All right. Well, we have just a few minutes left. Would you like to add anything else?
Yeah, no, I just want to end this with like, first of all, it's super nice. I'd like to actually talk out of this and get
Yeah,
to
we're
know
gonna
you
be
better too. I
friends.
think
We're
you're
gonna be
very,
friends.
I know, I think so. I think you're fascinating too, and knowing all you do. But my biggest thing, I think, just ending this with like, I don't know how many your listeners and like where your listeners are coming from, but the biggest thing, and like, I want people to know because I'm a very big supporter of women, is that you need to find what you want to do in life and like just go get it. Like stop worrying about what other people think. Okay. Like don't worry about what people think and don't let other people control what you do. So what I mean by that is like you literally can do anything you put your mind to it, right? Like you can do anything, but I think talk to us a little bit, like every single day, every single year, people are out there in the world chipping at you. You can't do this. You can't do this. It's too big. Everyone in the world is trying to shrink you. It's okay to be big. Go down a paper, write down your goals, write down who you want to be and what you want to be in 5 years, and then just go do it. Be ethical, find your values, find your morals, all of that, but go do it because you're not hurting on it. And the only person who is holding you back, it's not like get rid of that victim mentality. It is not the other person. It is literally you. It's you are the person who will make or break your entire life.
Amazing. I
So
think
that's it.
that's a great way to end it. So we're closing another chapter of Just Life. Thanks for tuning in and tune in next time. Bye.
Bye.